Hokis, a letter from my mother. Hokis, I am so very sorry that our time together was so short. I know that even the wise and serious 6-year-old you could not fully understand why I had to live at the hospital and not at home with you and your brother and dad. And I am sorry that you thought that you were responsible for my staying away. I know you thought that I was tired of you needing me, but nothing could be further from the truth, because I loved reading to you and brushing your hair and helping you with buckles and zippers and shoelaces, snowsuits and boots, and making those tiny little fruit from plasticine with you. I know that it was so confusing for you. You wondered how I could look fine when I told you that I was very sick, and how I could love you and still die. I want to talk to you about our last day together. I had come home from the hospital for a visit. I was lying in my bed listening to our housekeeper Laura coax you into letting her wash your hair. But you were so upset and worried for me that you would not let her touch you. I want my mummy to wash my hair, is what I heard. And so I left my bed and came to the bathroom to wash your hair. And it did my heart good to see you so happy, to be present with you, to be your mother. And then I fainted. The paramedics came to take me back to the hospital, and you thought you'd killed me. You thought your needs and wanting had been too much, that you possessed a terrible power, and it terrified you. And for the rest of your young life, you were in deep shame and guilt over what you thought you had done. And I want you to listen to me closely. It was not your fault. It is the conclusion you drew when there seemed to be no other explanation for the very worst of situations. I know you felt like you should be punished, but the opposite is true. You should be loved all the more. And so your father brought you to the hospital so we could say goodbye. You'd never been to the hospital before, with its strange smells, endless hallways, and rooms full of whispers. You looked terrified when you arrived. I tried to coax you from the doorway to my bedside so that I could hold you for the last time. Your father and the nurses tried to bring you to me, but that only escalated your fear. You became unmovable. You could not comprehend that it was me under the oxygen mask. And soon, we were all in tears. And very shortly after your visit, I died. I forgive you, little one. I wish I could have helped you navigate the difficult times ahead for you. And I hope that you could feel my presence near you, always. For I was haunting you, like a worried parent who lurks in the classroom doorway on the first day of school. I stayed close to you, and you felt it. But all I accomplished was to separate you from life. Life and joy were all around you, but you could hardly hear it or feel it. My death left you in a place between the living and the dead, which is no place to wander alone. And alone you certainly were, because your dad was lost in his own grief. You had to make sense of things with a very limited understanding, and it made you scared and unsure about everything. As you got older, you grieved by worrying. Would you face more loss? Would Dad die? Would Camille? Would burglars come? Or monsters? Or germs? Or ghosts? Grief and worry gave way to anger and suspicion. You felt the only way to survive was to grow a tough exterior, one that was also quick-witted and entertaining, one that tried to be all things to all people, to counter your feelings that you could never be good enough. And eventually you built some armor. It protected you from hurt, but also prevented you from the love that was trying to find you. One day you were able to sacrifice your exile and protection for what you could become. And this is an act of bravery, of life. Today, Your kindness, strength, and creativity will always be at your command, that you are valued just the way you are. I am proud of the person you've become, and always remember you had a mother who loved you very, very much. Anahid.